The Yu-Gi-Oh! October 3rd, 2022 Forbidden List, guys. We are finally here. And not only will I be sharing with you this ban list, I will also give you my thoughts and actually tell you why these cards are banned. Let's go ahead and start off with Fairy Tail Snow Band. Yo! This card's actually fairly toxic, especially when the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Tearlament is built on sending cards from the deck to the graveyard. It's fairly easy to say that this card was banned not because of older strategies using Fairy Tail Snow, but Tearlament's ability to be able to send multiple cards to the graveyard so you can keep on abusing Fairy Tail Snow, and it has some really good interactions with other Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards which are deadly. I'm gonna say that this was an unexpected hit, but I mean, it was a pretty good hit if you ask me. What else do you guys have? Hopefully the Mystic is mine. The mine is Mystic. Ronin Tonin! I have told you guys. Konami will not hit the problem, guys. It will never fail. Konami ain't gonna hit no Swap Frog in here. They're gonna hit the card that allows you to make the Totally Awesome. Or I'm sorry, Konami's not gonna hit the Totally Awesome. This was an easy hit for the Sprite strategy. I personally think that it's not a great hit. It's not a terrible hit. I will admit that Ronin Tonin's non-once per turn is kind of crazy. So the ban, I'm not against it, but I really wouldn't be for it. We should have already seen that coming. I've told you guys time after time again. What do we have next, guys? What do we have next? Thunder Dragon Gloss is still on the list. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, no! No! Christian Hockley Fabrics. He died on Link Cross for our sins, guys. He said his only begotten glow of bloom. This is huge. This is ridiculously huge. This changes the dynamic of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now because a lot of strategies are relying on Christian Hockley Fabrics to be able to special summon that tuner from their deck to be able to keep comboing. Personally, I think the most affected right now would be the Punk strategy. And of course, Adventure is pretty much dead with the banning of this card. That's crazy. Let's go ahead and move on to some other cards that are hit. Hopefully Mystic Mind comes inside of these spells. Chaotic Ruler to Chaotic Magical Dragon. Now, this really isn't much of a surprise. We've already said that this card is a bannable offense. It is a walking bannable offense in Yu-Gi-Oh! And the reason why this card was hit is because the Punk strategy used it well, the Adventure strategy used it well, Rocket Dragon Link used it well. I think it's more of Konami just power creeping some of the older strategies to force you to play some of the newer strategies, but it also could be future-proofing for the new stuff that comes out in the Darkwing Blast set. Bisted would probably have a field day with Chaotic Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. So that card being banned, that's fair. All right, so here's where we see the Mine is Mystic. Here's what it would be. It should be right here. They didn't ban Mystic Mine. They didn't ban Mystic Mine. All right. I'm not. That's all right, Konami. You didn't ban Mystic Mine. You had a job, but you banned Red Reboot. Why ban the Red Reboot? It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. I'll actually be able to explain to you. So Red Reboot isn't necessarily a problematic card if it were at 3. But the problem with Red Reboot at 3 is that then it becomes a way too powerful card alongside of cards like Harpy's Feather Storm and Lightning Storm and all of these other great cards. It becomes really, really powerful. It makes back row almost non-existent. The banning of Red Reboot sucks for a lot of players strictly because you now have one less out to powerful trap cards like Dimensional Barrier and Anti-Spell Fragrance. But at the same time, this card is really oppressive to back row heavy decks. You can imagine that with a banning of Red Reboot, that is good for all of the back row heavy strategies. And maybe that's something that Konami is trying to promote. Maybe that might be the answer to a lot of these combo heavy decks right now. So I'm indifferent for the Red Reboot. I want to hear what you guys think about some of these hits. Blackwing Steam the Cloak and Cyber Jar to 1. So these are not good cards. Like Cyberjar really isn't a good card. And Blackwing Steam the Cloak, you know, we were actually talking about how Cyberjar has been on the list for like, what has it been, like 16 years? It's been on the list for a crazy amount of time. This card destroys all monsters in the field, then both players pretty much draw 5 cards and spell summon all level 4 or lower monsters, face up attack or face down defense. I think that this card is a little too slow for Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I don't think it'll be any real good. It's just, it is what it is. And Blackwing Steam the Cloak is obviously off the list. Let me go ahead and exit that. Is obviously off the list because there's no reason for it to. I mean, it promotes Darkwing Blast, right? Like that would be it. No Gofu, but Steam the Cloak. Cool. Mecha Phantom Beast Old Lion. This is another card that was affected by Christian Hockley Fabrics. To be honest with you, I don't know why this card is at 1. It definitely could come to 3 with no problems here. Any other limited cards? Substitute. Yo, okay. This is weird. To be honest, I don't understand why Konami would ban a card like Ronin Tonin, which doesn't have a hard once per turn effect, but then unlimit a card or limit a card off the forbidden list that also doesn't have a hard once per turn effect. Now, granted, because Ronin Tonin is banned, Substitute can come off the list, but it's not, it just doesn't make sense. Like the philosophy is you get rid of cards that are extremely problematic and can use this effect over and over again, right? But you brought back a card that did the exact same thing. Granted, it doesn't do anything, but it's like, doesn't make sense. Oh man. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, it's some cards on here that I'd really want off the list. Like Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, Astrograph Sorcerer would have been nice. Like some of these cards, like why are they on the list? Like, but Spellbook of Judgment to 1. All right, that's interesting. We've been saying Spellbook of Judgment can come to 1 for, I want to say a good 3 years, 4 years, maybe 4 years. We've been saying it for a while. This card may warp the format in a good way. It may make other strategies that didn't have a chance fairly competitive. One being Spellbook, the other one being, well, I might have to share it with you in a video later. So this might be really huge for some of those strategies, but I don't think that this card will be warping as in the effect of, oh, it's going to make the game busted. I think it's just going to be a pretty decent card. Appointer of the Red Lotus to 1. Okay, I'm not going to lie. This card is pretty toxic. Being able to look at your opponent's entire hand and then banish their power card to be able to break your board is really toxic. So back row heavy decks, they gained the ability to not lose the red reboot, but they lost the ability to dodge cards like Lightning Storm and Harpy Spellduster with ease. So that's actually pretty fair. I'm not going to count. All right. All right. So semi-limited Desires isn't off the list, which is weird. Tinky and Malicious. I mean, I guess you got to keep something on the list, right? Unlimited Dynamite, Benton, Shooting Riser Dragon, Fusion Destiny, Nadir Servant, Trickstar Light Stage, and Wall of Revealing Light. Personally, I think that the only 2 cards that will be impactful will be Nadir Servant and Trickstar Light Stage. There is a possibility that Fusion Destiny does see more play, and with 3 Fusion Destiny, I feel like you can play. Oh my God, yo! Oh my God, I got some sauce. I got some sauce for the Forbidden. Yo, I have some sauce. I can't wait to be able to share with you guys, but Nadir Servant, Fusion Destiny are going to be decent game changers for a couple of strategies. It gets a huge boost. Huge boost in my opinion, and I can't wait to be able to show it. But the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game is definitely a lot different now. It's going to be really exciting. What do you think are the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now? I really am excited to hear that. Let me know what you think. I got some spice. We're going to have to do a whole tier list all over again. It's going to be really fun.